Well, everyone, let's go and take a look at the iPhone 17 and compare it against the iPhone SE 2022 model and see which particular iPhone is a better one for you. Now, the thing I can definitely tell you between these two models is that they're both very, very good options. They're both very good iPhones. And if you're going to go through and pick up really any type of iPhone, the iPhone 17 is going to be far better. And there's probably like 4 or 5 different iPhones I'd recommend buying before these two, or before this one, at least when it comes down to it. Now, if you want to go through and pick up some iPhones I would recommend buying this year, links will be down in the description below. You can get that from there, and you can help support the channel at the exact same time. Starting off with the outside between both, the iPhone SE 2022 model on the front side is basically going to be able to give you a 4.7-inch Retina IPS panel. It's a pretty average panel. You're getting a bunch of bezel on the top and bottom. The panel itself is okay, but you're getting lots of bezel. The home button on the front is kind of annoying because whenever you open up an application, you kind of use it. Well, it's going to be giving you a very slow type of experience. Even if the chipset inside this phone was fast, it's slowed down by constantly clicking this home button. Now you do get, things like Touch ID here, which is kind of nice. You can long press to get into Siri, but it is it's definitely not a good looking iPhone in today's standards. It looks like a fairly outdated device. The iPhone 17 is going to be giving you a larger 6.3-inch Super Retina XDR OLED display. This one is going to be significantly better. It's going to look much better. 3000 nits of peak brightness on this iPhone. Dynamic Island, way less bezel, Face ID, 120 Hz refresh rate. This is a flagship type of panel in today's standards, where the iPhone SE 3 and the iPhone SE 2 look like the iPhone 6 that came out in 2014, like an 11-year-old design. So definitely the iPhone 17 looks so much nicer than the iPhone SE 3. Now the rest of these bodies, you can see they're both a little different here as well. They're both giving you, volume buttons, ringer on off switch, the action button up here. The iPhone SE 3 is much slimmer and much smaller. So if you do like a smaller phone, the SE 3 does have that advantage. On the bottom, Lightning on the iPhone SE 3, USB Type-C on the iPhone 17. On the right side, you do get a SIM card tray on the SE 3, which some people might prefer, but you do get this camera button on the iPhone 17, which is nice, and the power buttons in the top. On the complete backside, you are getting a dual camera setup on the iPhone 17. The iPhone SE 3 is giving you this camera setup right here, single camera. Significantly smaller camera on the iPhone SE 3, the dual camera on the iPhone 17 as always, and you're getting MagSafe on the iPhone 17 as well, reverse wire charging on the iPhone 17. It's a much better type of experience. If you're going to go through and get something like an iPhone 17, this is going to feel like more of a flagship, more of a proper phone than something like the iPhone SE 3 when it kind of comes down to it. So from the exterior, that kind of covers it up there. When it comes down to software and software updates, the iPhone, or when it comes down to price tag, first of all, the iPhone SE 3 is going to cost you probably around like $100, probably like $120 nowadays. This phone depreciated in value so fast, so you can probably find these things definitely under 200, probably closer to 120, 130 when it kind of comes down to it. With the iPhone 17, it's just getting started. This phone is $800, so it's really going to be roughly around $800 for a while. It's probably going to go down to like maybe $700 in like a couple months and like $650 in like a couple, maybe like a year. So this phone's going to retain its value far better than something like the iPhone SE 3. Now let's go and do a speed comparison. The iPhone SE 3 is giving you the Apple A15 Bionic chip inside of it with 4 GB of RAM, where the iPhone 17 is giving you the A19 chipset inside with 8 GB of RAM. So let's go and see which one's the faster phone between both. Okay, everyone, let's get into it. iPhone SE 3 is on the left, iPhone 17 is on the right. And let's go and load up some applications. Now, number one, the SE 3 is still going to feel pretty fast, but look what happens when you close out of an application, right? Look at how much slower it is on the iPhone SE 3. Even if the iPhone SE 3 was insanely fast, let's say it had the greatest chipset, you still have to wait for this button to kind of register on the phone. And that is, I messed that one up, but that is why this one is still going to be that much slower. And even for this application, I clicked on the iPhone SE 3 before the 17 by accident, but the 17 still loaded it up faster. So that's what kind of ends up happening. And even when we're scrolling through, you can see how much more glitchier it looks like on the iPhone SE 3 than on the iPhone 17. So that right there is kind of like a minor thing, but it's not anything super crazy. Now they're both going to be giving you, like I said, good capability and everything like that, but the iPhone SE 3 is going to be significantly slower. So that is always one of those things you're going to have to remember. Like if you're going to go through and get somewhat of a newer device, you're definitely going to be getting somewhat of like an older type of experience on the iPhone SE 3, right? Even app opening and everything like that, the chipset is not too terrible on the iPhone SE 3. The RAM being half of what we're getting on the iPhone 17 is going to be kind of a problem. So, you're not going to be able to have too many applications in the background as well, which in and of itself is going to be another one of those issues. But what I will tell you is, in my personal opinion, from what I'm seeing, is that the performance of something like an iPhone SE 3, it's really not going to be that fast. It's going to be pretty slow in a lot of different ways. And I think that's one of the big things I want everyone to kind of think about here. Like if you're going to go through and pick up a device, the constantly clicking the home button is one of those issues here. It makes the phone feel significantly slower. So that is going to be one of those things you're going to end up seeing. So if you're going to go through and pick up a device, I would just kind of think about looking towards something like an iPhone 17 way more than I look at something like an iPhone SE 3. And this phone genuinely just doesn't make that much sense to buy anymore. The iPhone 17 is way better, but you don't also have to just pick between these two phones. There's the iPhone 14 Pro, that's also a very good phone, those ones too. But definitely the iPhone 17 is significantly faster here, more so than something like an iPhone SE 3. Now, when it comes down to their camera departments, this is also another important thing. So they're both giving you these dual camera, well, the iPhone 17 is giving you this dual camera setup on the back. The iPhone SE 3 is giving you this single camera. So the SE 3 is able to do 4K at 60 on the back, but 1080p only on the front. The iPhone 17 is giving you 4K at 60 on the back and 4K at 60 on the front. So that right there is another very big difference here. If you're getting a phone, definitely something like an iPhone SE 3, it's going to be giving you a much better, it's not going to be giving you a better experience whatsoever. This one's going to definitely be worse. You can see it doesn't zoom in that much. You have video mode here, you have time lapse, no cinematic mode, nothing else super crazy going on here. You do have portrait mode, which is kind of nice, but it is a very average type of camera when it comes down to it. It's a very important piece of the puzzle. Where something like the iPhone 17, this one's going to be a little bit different. So with something like the iPhone 17, this one's giving you 0.5x zoom on the outside. It's going to be giving you 10x zoom on the inside, which again, I think is probably not the best. I mean, it's a great camera. It's much better than the iPhone SE 3. You have photo mode, video mode, you have cinematic mode, still standard time-lapse and everything like that. You do get a couple more features here. One, you do get this center stage capability on the front camera, which is really nice. And on video mode, you do get this action mode and dual capture mode. So you can film yourself and other people at the same time. That is a really nice capability you have inside of the iPhone 17, whereas on the iPhone SE 3, it's not really giving you that, which, like I said before, is a very important thing to keep in mind there. So, what I definitely will tell you is, in my personal opinion, when I'm looking at these two devices, definitely I would not recommend buying an iPhone SE 3 anymore. If you enjoy your SE 3, then I'd recommend keeping it. But there is a big difference here. If you have an iPhone SE 3 and you're wanting to upgrade, you don't have to just upgrade to an iPhone 17. What you're looking for here is a phone with better battery life, better cameras, and a better display with a longer future ahead of it. You can go and upgrade from an iPhone SE 3 to a 2022 iPhone 14 Pro. Not even one of these. A 14 Pro, which I conveniently have right here. This is a very good phone that's going to be giving you very good capability. It's a beautiful device. This is a big upgrade coming from the iPhone SE 2 or 3 and it's cheaper than an iPhone 17. It's not as good as an iPhone 17, but this is a very good upgrade coming from the SE 3. Now, with that being said, if you have more money, obviously go for an iPhone 17. This is a way better device, but this kind of fills in all the buckets from an iPhone SE 3 without having to spend as much money as an iPhone 17. But if you have more money, then go for something like an iPhone 17. So, from that side, that kind of covers it up there. If you have any other thoughts or questions, please let me know in the comment section below. Hit the like button, that would mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. More importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.